Hello and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and are today's top stories. India's ancient wellness traditions go global. Awami League activists rally in Geneva against ban and curbs on press freedom. And PoJK forest staff protests against corruption and merit violations. Let's begin the show. Global wellness trends are shifting. What was once traditional home remedies in India is now gaining popularity worldwide. With tariff cuts under the India-US trade deal, Ayush and herbal products are set to expand globally. India is not just exporting remedies, it is sharing a holistic wellness lifestyle with the world. India's traditional healthcare systems, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani medicine, Siddha medicine, and homeopathy have long emphasized balance and prevention. As modern lifestyles bring rising stress and illnesses like diabetes, more people worldwide are turning to herbal and natural wellness solutions. Amid this shift, India's Ministry of Ayush systems are gaining global attention. The United States has emerged as the largest market for Indian herbal and Ayush products, with exports reaching about $680 million in 2024-25. Lower tariffs under the India-US trade deal are expected to accelerate this growth even further.
18% is good, but industry is expecting more. They are thinking that it should go to 0% to 6%, which was the bracket in which all other products were being sold initially. Unani and this thing got a very small market as yet, so it has to also grow up for this kind of setup. There are countries which will take these products also. Homeopathy is also very well in Europe and all these things. For that also standards we have to increase here.
Leading the export surge in ashwagandha, along with other natural ingredients such as turmeric, ginger, neem, tirphala, tulsi, brahmi and shatavari, whose global demand is rising. From Ayurvedic medicines to Unani, Siddha and Soa Rigpa remedies, along with modern herbal supplements, India's wellness market is steadily expanding worldwide. Indian companies are blending centuries-old traditional knowledge with modern research, improved quality standards, and contemporary packaging to reach global consumers. The government is also supporting the sector through initiatives by the Ministry of Ayush, the Ayush Export Promotion Council, and schemes that assist small and emerging wellness enterprises.
The Indian government is supporting Ayurveda like anything. They've been promoting it. It's just that people were not very aware. Now people are getting aware, more and more aware, and a lot of brands are coming in, a lot of manufacturers are coming in that are making, because see, when we talk about Ayurveda, so there used to be a notion that it will be very bad smelling or not so good looking product. But now, like I said, if you're combining it with modern science, then the product can be very aesthetically pleasing. It can be very modern in a way.
To bring these initiatives to the grassroots, the government is organizing free medical camps across the country, where people can benefit from Ayurveda and homeopathy treatments. At these camps, communities receive free consultations, health checkups, and medicines, especially in areas with limited access to healthcare. The aim is to promote a holistic, public-centered approach to health, helping individuals manage stress, anxiety, diabetes, and other lifestyle-related or seasonal illnesses.
इस कैंप का मकसद ये है कि लोगों को हम अवेयर करें कि जो आयुष सिस्टम ऑफ मेडिसिन है ये बिल्कुल एक ऐसा सिस्टम है जिसका कोई साइड इफ़ेक्ट्स नहीं है. आप आइए, मुफ्त दवाइयाँ अवेलेबल हैं, मुफ्त जो कंसल्टेशन अवेलेबल है.
Strong policies, rising global demand, and the fresh vision of young entrepreneurs are transforming our Ayush systems of medicine into one of India's most powerful soft power exports. India is no longer exporting just wellness products. It is sharing with the world a philosophy of healthier, balanced, and more mindful living. The human rights landscape in Bangladesh has worsened significantly, marked by increasing reports of enforced disappearances, violence against minority communities, and growing political repression. Highlighting these concerns, members of the Awami League organized a protest in Geneva to bring international focus to the alleged violations. As the country navigates a shifting political environment following the formation of a new government, uncertainty looms over its future, with the next few months likely to be critical in determining Bangladesh's political trajectory and governance framework.
The human rights climate in Bangladesh has reportedly worsened in recent times, raising concerns among international observers and rights organizations. Reports suggest that political opponents and minority communities are facing increasing pressure with allegations of arbitrary detentions and mistreatment. Incidents of religious intolerance, including attacks on places of worship, have also been highlighted. Amid these developments, democratic institutions are perceived by many as coming under strain, prompting calls for greater global attention and oversight. Protesters gathered near the UN complex, holding demonstrations and shouting slogans against the current government in Bangladesh. They allege a ban on the Awami League, attacks on minority communities, and a lack of press freedom in the country. Addressing the gathering, speakers claim that since August 5, 2024, Bangladesh has witnessed widespread human rights violations, including alleged killings of political workers, journalists, intellectuals, and members of various professions.
Human rights is degrading every day. All the people, secular people, are suffering in Bangladesh. They are jailed. They are punished. There is mob violence with all the open thinking people, all the supporters of Bangladesh Awami League, all the supporters of secular Bangladesh. So we are front of United Nations Geneva to raise our voice against the actual situation in Bangladesh, and we beg to international community to support us and raise voice against actual situation in Bangladesh. Last month there was a IUAS election. Unfortunately, BNP take the power of Bangladesh, but they are continuing the same illegal things in Bangladesh, violation against minority and violation against humanity.
They also accused authorities of carrying out detentions and custodial torture without due legal process. The protesters further alleged that major political parties, including the Awami League and other secular groups, were excluded from the electoral process.
There's a mob violence, mob lynching. There at least at that time 537 people were killed. 213 documented cases that Awami League activists and its associated organizations activists were killed. More than few thousand people were injured. 369,000 people were arrested. 124 MPs and other political leaders, including journalists, professionals, were arrested. They are not getting bail. They are arrested. Somebody were arrested without any warrant, but still they are suffering inside the prison. And the biggest party of the country, the most popular party of the country, Bangladesh Awami League, was forcefully kept from the participating election by executive order. We came here to raise our voice against that impunity, what's going on in Bangladesh moment. There was an election that was not participatory, and the new government has come. We urge that these people who is suffering in the prison, or those people who are not go to their own houses because of extortion and threat, please let them go in. And we want fair trial. We want justice.
They termed the February 12 elections divisive and lacking credibility, raising concerns over inclusivity and legitimacy. The demonstration, organized by human rights and civil society groups, called for restoring constitutional rights, democracy, and the rule of law in Bangladesh. The protest coincided with discussions at the United Nations Human Rights Council, placing the situation in a broader global context. Amid evolving political developments following the formation of the new government, Bangladesh faces an uncertain path ahead, with the coming months expected to play a crucial role in shaping its political direction and governance landscape.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
A few dozen tourists and locals crammed onto a small river cruise for cherry blossom viewing at around peak season in Tokyo. In Japan, cherry blossom season is synonymous with hanami, Japanese for flower viewing. The traditional pastime draws crowds to well-known spots where cherry trees grow, including Tokyo's iconic Ueno Park, which gets covered in swathes of pink and white during this period in springtime. While some opt to sit under the trees in parks, the river cruise offers passengers a full-on view of the capital's centrally located Meguro River's iconic cherry blossom trees in just about an hour for 5,000 yen, $31.29 per person. Despite the recent rise in fuel prices, CEO of river cruise operator Tokyo Waterways Kazuyoshi Harada said his company has yet to raise ticket prices. 1 month on since the start of the Iran war, Iraqis voiced growing concern over rising prices and regional tensions, warning that a prolonged war could further destabilize the country's fragile economy and political landscape. In central Baghdad and along the bustling Mutanabi Street, some residents said they were already feeling the strain of higher living costs, with some fearing the impact could worsen if the conflict drags on. Iraqi oil production has slumped as the Iran war rages, with storage tanks reaching high and critical levels, while the country is unable to export crude via the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier this month, Iraqi oil production from its main southern oil fields had already fallen by about 70% to around 1.3 million barrels per day, as the country was unable to export crude via the Strait of Hormuz. Production from the field stood at around 4.3 million barrels per day before the war. This risks Iraq becoming a direct arena for confrontation, making it far harder for Soudani to maintain his fragile balance between Iran and Washington. More than 15 people, including 14 children, were killed and 25 injured as heavy rainfall in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province caused roofs and walls of houses to collapse, the province's disaster management authority. Pakistan and neighboring Afghanistan were facing heavy rain that triggered severe flooding and caused buildings to collapse in the last 5 days. Authorities said 45 people were killed in total for both countries. The National Disaster Management Authority said that most of the deaths in war-shattered Afghanistan were reported from the central and eastern provinces, including Parwan, Maidan Wardak, Daekundi, and Logar, where torrential rain triggered flash floods and landslides. The United Nations lists both Pakistan and Afghanistan among the countries most vulnerable to extreme weather and climate change. Some supporters were seen with head injuries as police beat protesters with batons and detained others. Ali was arrested on Saturday as police investigate whether he was negligent in failing to prevent dozens of deaths in a crackdown on Gen Z-led anti-corruption protests last September. His arrest, which his lawyer said was illegal, sparked protests by supporters on Saturday, who clashed with police, followed rapper-turned-politician Balendra Shah's swearing in as prime minister on Friday and a recommendation by a panel investigating violence during the protests that he should be prosecuted for negligence. Oil's former Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak was also arrested. 76 people were killed last September during a police crackdown and arson and violent unrest during the protests, which led to Ali's resignation.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, outrage has spilled onto the streets of Muzaffarabad as Forest Department employees protest against what they call blatant corruption and a complete disregard for merit. Allegations of manipulated seniority lists and denied promotions have intensified anger. As trust erodes, employees are demanding accountability, justice, and an end to undue influence undermining their rights. Your report.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, a protest demonstration was held outside the central office in Muzaffarabad, where Forest Department employees raised serious concerns over the violation of merit in the seniority list of peons. Workers say deserving employees have been sidelined, with promotions influenced by favoritism rather than fairness. The issue has triggered strong resentment as staff demands recognition of seniority and a transparent, merit-based system.
आज ये जो हड़ताल है, ये कलामती हड़ताल है। ये वो लोग आए हुए जो मुतासर हैं। आज हमने इस हड़ताल को इतना कमजोर न समझा जाए कि आप देख रहे होंगे कि शायद ये वो लोग कम हैं। ये लोग कम नहीं, ये वो लोग हैं जिनके साथ सैनिटी में खिलवाड़ किया गया है। इस तरह मेरे दोस्त ने कहा 2004 में और 2002 में भर्ती होने वाले आज वो भीख मांग रहे हैं, वो रिटायरमेंट के करीब है, उनकी उम्र 58 साल हो चुकी है, तो यह 59 साल का हो चुका है, पर उनको हक नहीं दिया गया। वो इसलिए नहीं दिया गया कि यहाँ पे अपने अजीज वर्कआउट को हमेशा प्रमोट किया गया और जो गरीब का बच्चा होता है उसको सिर्फ समाधि के पीछे लगाया जाता है।
For these employees, the struggle goes beyond promotions. Forest Department workers who play a vital role in protecting forests and wildlife continue to work under uncertainty and insecurity. Despite their service, they face neglect, lack of recognition, and limited career growth. Employees say this injustice must end, calling for urgent reforms, fair policies, and basic safeguards for those who are interested with preserving the region's natural resources.
जिसमें कुटला भी आता था, जिसमें लछराट भी था, जिसमें डन्ना भी था, तमाम मुजफ्फराबाद का कोटा था। इस कोटे को मजमूआ करके एक मोहल्ले का कोटा बना दिया गया, जिसकी पुरजोर मजम्मत करते हैं, हम नहीं मानते। दूसरी बात, ये जंग इन बेलदारों की है, इन बाचरों की है, अपने इनके हकूक़ के लिए हम आपके साथ खड़े हैं, खड़े रहेंगे हम वक्त। लेकिन इसके लिए आपको भी अपनी कमर बांधनी पड़ेगी, आपको भी हमारे साथ खड़ा होना पड़ेगा अपने हक के लिए। जब तक आप अपने हक के लिए नहीं खड़े होंगे, तब तक आपको कोई भी हक नहीं दे सकता।
This protest is not an isolated case, but reflects a wider pattern of hardship in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, where people across sectors continue to face corruption, administrative neglect, and lack of accountability. From delayed payments to limited opportunities and weak infrastructure, daily life remains a struggle. Repeated protests highlight growing public frustration as citizens demand systemic reforms and a governance structure that ensures fairness, transparency, and basic dignity.
In Ladakh, education is witnessing a remarkable transformation, blending modern learning with cultural preservation. With literacy reaching 81% in 2024, the region is strengthening school infrastructure, promoting digital education, and introducing innovative concepts like farm schools. Focused efforts to boost girl enrollment and expand skill-based courses in tourism and agriculture reflect a broader vision, making education a key driver of development and deeper integration into the national mainstream. Let's explore.
Nestled amid breathtaking landscapes, Ladakh is redefining the power of education as a catalyst for transformation. Despite its high altitude terrain, scattered population, and harsh climate, the region is steadily overcoming barriers of access and infrastructure. Through coordinated efforts by government bodies, institutions, civil societies, and military civil partnership, a resilient and knowledge-driven future is taking shape. At the heart of this change lies schools, nurturing not just literacy, but values, skills, and a generation ready to shape Ladakh's evolving story.
Johnny, yes, Papa. Eating sugar, no, Papa. Are you sure? Yes, Papa. Open your mouth, ha ha ha.
But 24-25 में डिपार्टमेंट्स वर सेटल्ड. उस दौरान हमने काफ़ी एम्फेसिस अपने एजुकेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को अपग्रेड करने में दिया. इनफैक्ट पैसा बहुत खर्चा हुआ, मगर उसका रिजल्ट ये हुआ कि हमारे हॉस्टल्स की क्वालिटी भले ही स्कूल्स में हो भले ही कॉलेजेस में वो बहुत इम्प्रूव हुई. हमारे स्कूल में क्लासरूम्स की क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव हुई. डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत तेजी से आने लगा. इनफैक्ट यू वोंट बिलीव वी कुड लास्ट ईयर इटसेल्फ हमने लगभग 350 स्कूलों में नए किचन शेड्स, नए किचन्स बनाए जो कि पीएम पोषण के अंडर मैंडेटरी होते हैं. सो वी कुड डू ऑल दिस इन लास्ट 2 years because A, we were somewhat settled, हम थोड़े settle हो गए थे as a department, and B, the department also learned how to spend money and where to invest money.
For years, Ladakhi students were compelled to leave their homeland for higher education. However, the establishment of universities in Ladakh marks a turning point, bringing quality education closer to home and fostering inclusion. From advancing functional literacy to establishing universities, from empowering youth through dedicated coaching centers to nurturing innovation via research institutions, the Union Territory is crafting a remarkable new chapter.
हमने स्कूल में बहुत नई क्लासेस बनाई, नए किताबें दी, नए अच्छे टीचर्स दिए, और आज वो स्कूल में जहाँ 10-11 बच्चे हुआ करते थे, आज लगभग 200 बच्चे हैं. सो वी कुड सी द ट्रांजिशन इन लेस देन 2 months. तो हमें लगा कि अगर ऐसा कुछ जगह पर हो सकता है, ये बाकी सब स्कूलों में भी किया जा सकता है. इसी तरह हमारा चुशोत में जो बसगोरोंग स्कूल है, वो एक प्राइमरी स्कूल है जहाँ केवल 7 बच्चे हुआ करते थे. आज उधर लगभग 50 बच्चे हैं, और आज ये हालत हो गई है कि पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चों को भेजना चाह रहे हैं, मगर हमारे क्लासरूम्स उतने नहीं हैं. तो अब हम धीरे धीरे वहां पे नंबर ऑफ क्लासेस बढ़ा रहे हैं.
In Ladakh, education has transcended the boundaries of classrooms to become a lived and shared experience, reflected in the dreams of students, the dedication of teachers, and the resilience of its communities. As the region strides towards sustainable development while preserving its rich cultural heritage, education stands as the strongest bridge to its future. In the high Himalayas, where nature tests human limits, education emerges as a ladder linking aspirations to achievements, truly becoming the very heartbeat of Ladakh's progress and transformation.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.